Everybody, Fashion Rising back again in Ambition. Right, where were we? Yeah, we've got 3 days and I've got this. What was I thinking when I was well, clearly wasn't thinking, was I really? Alrighty, so what we got on? Let's have a look. There's a lot of petal which we could do a get shot of, but not to. Let's explore Paris. Let's have got wardrobe first of all, because we are wardrobe. What we like for the journal? Let's have a look. Gossip. 2 days ago, we could do with selling that at some point. Wardrobes. We've got military, bourgeoisie. That covers those three. Yeah, we should be over that. We should be okay with that. Yeah, we've got that covered. Right. So what we're going to do today then? We've got working up the nerve. We've got this to pursue our objectives. However, I do like the idea of investigating one of these. So these are points of interest. Jardin de plants. Okay. Let's get music to our ears. Down by the water, you come across an unusual man of many talents. A chance conversation that may hold the power to subtly alter the future. Okay. There's that one. Working up the nerve. You have to find dressmaker Fatima Shen outside of a fashionable cafe. However, she doesn't look happy to be there. In fact, she looks quite distressed. Okay. And Hessian Dorman. Exploring the dangerous pop city types could be useful or even employable. Now, I had this in my first run, and I'm not entirely sure there's any point to it. I don't know. It was quite late on, and it cost me a lot, but didn't really do anything. So I'm not sure I'm going to leave that one for the time being, because I'm not entirely sure that's going to be of any use. I'm not sure how they're meant to work. I didn't employ the dressmaker guy because I felt like I couldn't afford him. You spend the day walking alongside the river. Halfway through your walk, you notice the sun hitting the water just right, lending brilliant light to the colourful ships and boats. It's a chance moment that looks as beautiful as a painting. You pause to lean against a railing to take it all in. Nearby, you watch a small private ferry bump into a lavish pleasure craft, igniting a stream of insults and violent oaths from the pilots of the two crafts. Just as a ferryman pulls the out of the water to hit someone, you notice that you're not watching this scene alone. A man in black and white with a curious brooch on his jacket is watching the same scene as yourself. Beautiful music, isn't it? He asked quietly. I wouldn't call two men threatening the virtue of each other. I wouldn't call two men threatening the virtue of each other's mother's music. Do you often sneak up on us? I suppose it is. So you hear it too. He says, a voice still earnest yet analytical. Angelos, you gain a little credibility. There's musicality to all things. After all, music is mathematics, and mathematics can be found everywhere in the natural world. Okay. It's a hobby of mine to seek out new sounds and see if they can be incorporated into my next composition. As chaotic as it seems, even this everyday conflict has a familiar rhythm, order, and tempo, just like music. Ah, yes, Angelo Strassner, at your service, madame, he says, gesturing to himself. Yeah, I'm not going to introduce myself like that. Charmed, I'm sure. Yvette, do we want to go the whole? Yeah, let's go that one. I'm charmed to meet you as well, Madame Decor. We spoke of music earlier, and I just realised that you may be able to help me. I have a decision that's left me feeling quite divided. I recently finished a new composition. I'm looking for a sponsor who could help me fund the first performance of it, but I don't know which to pursue. As of right now, two groups are the most influenced in the world's music are the church and the bourgeoisie. I'm certain my composition will bring popularity to whomever sponsors it, but I don't know who would be best for me. What are your thoughts? Approach the church, they're sponsoring composers since time immemorial. The bourgeoisie are the best choice. They have ample wealth and willingness to explore new ideas. Make sure I must say these questions are beyond my... Yeah, I'm going to go with that lot. That's a good point, he nods along. Coming on to your idea. I'll start reaching out to my associates in the bourgeoisie post-haste. Bourgeoisie have gained little power. He pauses to check his pocket watch. It seems that I should be back at my business. Enjoy the rest of your day, Yvette. Angelos excuses himself with a quick bow, and you are once again alone. You look out upon the river, and it seems that the conflict between the boatmen has been resolved without anybody being sent to the bottom of the river. Experimentally, you close your eyes and listen to the noise of the city. Perhaps you're imagining things, but it does almost sound musical. Ooh! 1st of April 1789. I wish you could. I wish you could see your calendar. No, we can. You can see. Obviously, you can see it's right next to me, isn't it? Right. So, that's going to be tricky. Yeah. I was about to say, I wish you could see your calendar. It's right next to me there. How long has that been there? I've not noticed it at all. It's back to backs in it. I'm going to accept it. What could possibly go wrong? I wasn't just going to accept every single invitation, but it looks like I am this time. That is going to be bonkers. Right, so we've got that. So explore Paris again. Explore Paris again. So we've now got the Parc Monceau. We've got the Place Royale. We've got La Grande Denis de Roy. We've got these two things down here. Missions. Rumour mongers. Busy Olympus for gossip. Yeah. Yep. Look that one. Parc Monceau. I am going to the Premier Theatre in Paris, La Grande Danseur de Roy, is a rendezvous location known for its comedies, which tend to be coarse and proletariat but lively and never boring. There's that one. There's part of the Great Square with rich and powerful socialise. Here you'll spend the day trawling for gossip. Or we've got Parc Monceau, created by the famous libertarian Louis Philippe Delines. This rendezvous location is a bustling garden filled with strange adventures and exotic attractions. Let's go, because we want a rendezvous location, because at some point we do want rendezvous. Today's walk is particularly pleasant as the sky is clear and the sun is shining. The crowds in this part of the city are picking up, and out of curiosity you head in the same general direction. The sight that greets your eyes next is nothing short of surreal. A massive garden dotted with all sorts of fantastic buildings, small Egyptian pyramids, Roman columns, Turkish tents, and more all clustered around a sparkling lake. People in costumes strut about the different buildings, enthralling tourists with fantastic tales of dubious authenticity. Still looks like everyone is having fun. This must be Parc Monceau, created by the fabulously wealthy Duke de Chartres. Taking note of your surroundings, you jot the location down in your journal. Yep. It's tacky and fun, the kind of place to take someone that's adventurous but doesn't take themselves too seriously. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't wait to come back. Yeah. After a quick look around the garden to get home, already you're dreaming of excuses to head back and try and figure out who else you know might appreciate Parc Monceau as much as you do. Right, next day. Okay. What do we want to do today? That's our exhaustion is going to be dead by that. It's going to be awful by that time. Well, I need to start rejecting more parties. I need to start bouncing them back a little bit more. So, explore past what new things have popped up on our little windows. Working up the nerve. Yep. Perils of journalism. Works in a field where there's quite a few enemies. You just didn't expect it to catch up with you quite so quickly. Ew, I'm not sure I want to look at that one. That's Café Principe. Yeah, let's go Café Principe. Actually, I'm going to get rid of my exhaustion. We're going to stay at home today. Visit location. Because we need to remove all our exhaustion. You decide to take the day off and spend some time at home resting and recuperating. After spending the day in, taking care of yourself and doing light reading, you finally feel recharged. The exhaustion that has been affecting you as before has passed. Cool. That complete, you turn to focus upon the other matters that demand your attention. Okay, so here we go. On the 11th of April, I'm going to decline that one. So quite frankly, because that's just ridiculous. Sorry, I've declined it because, quite frankly, I'm not. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But levels of exhaustion would be crazy. So, I've had a lot more invitations on this. On the first one, you didn't get nearly as many invitations as this. But anyway, unless I just forgot it all. Anyway, right. So what we're seeing today, we are at the Crown, I think. Go to the party. What we're going to wear for the Crown? What's our best outfit? The robes de coeur. I'll go with that one. Go to the party. don't know what the difference is. I always assess preparations. I'm going to do that again. I should really want to try the other way. Yep, fine. Usual stories. Credibly's gone up. You step down. Yep. You stepped out the carriage here. Ripple whispers signal your arrival at any social event these days. There's a small line in the vestibule as guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in line, you manage to overhear interesting rumour. Yep. Cheap gossip. Gift of wine. We've lost some peril, which is good. Not a lot, but we've lost some. Now let the games begin. Right, who have we got to chat to here? We've got generic businessman. It wouldn't be a party held by aristocracy if someone didn't challenge your qualifications. In fact, a gentleman is approaching you to just that. Okay. We have got over here, your conversation with a clever woman could yield some valuable results. Yep. We've got this muddling musician. We've got over here 2 guests in this room seem absolutely paralysed away to the rooms are bare within their hearts, but neither of them are willing to speak for fear of discovery. Perhaps if you get them alone, it could be different. Okay. Or we've got over here, a chambermaid has been charged with returning a. Yeah, do we want to? Yeah, that's one just basically return some money to somebody. I'm gonna have a go with this one. Favour with Elizabeth. This could go horribly wrong. You come across 2 people speaking low voices to each other. Their entire persons give off an aura of both nervousness and excitement. It practically reeks of secrets, and it draws you like a moth to a flame. I would, of course, tell you more about what I know about the church, but risk of being discovered is too great. Exiled aristocrat. I'm on the same mind with my views within the crown. What if my discussions had become known? The damage to my reputation with them would be swift and severe. The man replies with an intense seriousness. Swift and severe damage to one's reputation, eh? That certainly feels familiar. I suppose that means neither of us can disclose what we've ever heard. The silence between them is so tense that it feels like they're absolutely bursting with a desire to spill everything they know. You've seen less tension between young men and women who've just realised that they like each other. For the sake of discretion, we should be apart for the moment. I should follow the gentleman who claims to know something about the crown. The woman who knows something about the church will be useful. Let's go after the woman. You follow the lady, leaving behind the male companion. Soon you catch up with her in a different room, so as not to ask too much suspicion. Bonsoir, madame. I don't think I've seen you before. Do you come to such events often? Excited aristocrat. It barely takes any prodding on your part to get him to talk. Her typo there. You obtained a piece of cheap church gossip. Of course, obtaining secrets from someone who's terrible at keeping them essentially means that you're being discovered. That you're being discovered is all but inevitable. Eh? Of course, obtaining secrets from someone who's terrible at keeping them essentially means that you're being discovered is all but inevitable. Ah, right, okay. You've lost the favour of Ludovic. Yeah, that makes sense. Once you've obtained the gossip from them, it's like a floodgate that's opened, and you find them to be surprisingly entertaining. The conversation that follows is quite amusing, if a touch difficult to keep up with. Eventually, you're pulled away. They're pulled away so they can be introduced to another guest. Perhaps it's time to see what else can be accomplished while you're here. So we've got distant days. You call a memory from Armand. Okay, we've got a woman starts fuming by herself, just simmering with resentment. Fuming by herself, just simmering with resentment, a pointless emotion that for those to those who allow it to darken their hearts. It's fantastically useful to people like yourself. So that is okay. We've got that one. We've got. That's a clever woman conversation. We've got over here, we've got messenger of the door passing information. This scandalous news might be worth a bit if you were to obtain it. Oh, that's risky though. It's risky. So, memory of Armand. I've already got a plan in mind with this. What I'm going to do about Armand. I've already got an idea. Do we have this memory, or do we? Let's go for the memory of Armand. Let's see what this brings us. Pick the conversation. You wander around the pot for a while, trying to find a conversation that feels right, but only end up feeling lost. Rather than wasting time on something that isn't working, you decide to get some fresh air in the garden. It's difficult to focus all night, and you're not certain as to why. Thankfully, you find the garden's deserted, so you just focus on yourself. While you're adjusting your stays so they sit more comfortably, you consider your poor luck is not you. It's just that nobody has anything exciting to say right now. If nothing else, this feels certainly familiar. Of course, when you last felt like the parties were much smaller, they were much less elegant, and they even felt less exciting than the one you're attending right now. In fact, they're just such a party bored to the verge of tears of making conversation with yourself when you heard someone walking up behind you. I am so sorry I didn't realise this spot was taken. I was planning on fuming alone in the garden, but an occupier already laid their claim. Quentin had begun, as his garden is mine, by right of conquest. Don't waste your time dissembling, just join me already. What's the trouble you so much? Aren't parties supposed to be there? He laughs. Well, if you insist, madame, let it never be said I refuse the calls of a charming woman, especially one as piqued as I am. You've gained some favour with this handsome stranger. He sits down next to you and sighs, diving into darkness alongside you. With a rueful smile, he shakes his head, tussling his long hair back and forth. Everything here just feels like we're going round in a circle like a water wheel. The water of the river rush onwards to new things, but the wheel merely spins. My apologies, I've never introduced myself. My name is Armand. Armand never mentioned his last name to you, even that he was a baron until the third time you met. He pretended it was because he thought it was unimportant, but you knew better. He was sick of the deference and grovelling that came with his position. May I ask your name? It's a pleasure to meet you, Yvette. He takes your hand and kisses the back of it. Normally such a familiar gesture would disgust you, but he does it with light, practised grace, like it was the most normal thing in the world. The two of you stare into each other's eyes as your gaze plays along the moonlight features. You wonder how you both managed to get to go so long without meeting. Now you've heard my ways. What troubles you? What doesn't trouble me? The whole place is going nowhere. And it's infuriating. So I don't want to talk about something pleasant. Let's go with that one. Before you realise that you find yourself unrolling a list of every enmity you have in the town, punctured by every one of those mental failings. It's a long list. I thought myself amazed, but it seems as I may have pretended to thorny lass as a cold wind causes you to shiver. Getting some favour. Unfortunately, I must go. My presence will be missed. However, before I go, please take this. It's frightfully cold out here. He says, taking off his coat, handing it to you. His breath steams in the air, and the coat is warm with his body heat. Should you feel the need to return it, I like to spend my Sundays reading at Le Signy. I can never say that. He says, gesturing in the direction of the Davern. With that, I'm on leave. The breeze blows you a brief shiver, so you wrap his coat about your shoulders. The collar smells like it mixed with a trace of perfume. Like all memories, it begins to dissolve once the most important element's passed. You managed to return your thoughts to the here and now. You cannot manage to completely discard the memory. The pull of fanciful reminiscence is as strong as it is sweet. With that, you return to the party. Okay. So the Queen was recently seen bedecked in a spectacularly diamond necklace. Is it a sign of royal power or necessary excess? A country priest in Paris is going to sign to accuse criminals. I'm now being harassed by my cat. So we've got next church one now. This is going to say church. Pick our clothes. We've just worn that. Church don't like it anyway. Let's go with the humble caracal skirt. This time I'm going to head straight to the party. You brush on any notion. Off any notion, a step down to carriage, you already know that the rumours to listen for and what advantages you've already have at your disposal. Right, okay, cool. Alright, fine. This just skips past that intro. Alright, okay. A servant checks invitation, everything's ordered. Yep, we'll pay her some money to get rid of her some bevel. You're grateful, take the gift from you, sets aside the into party, and whispers of other guests, noting your generosity. Cool, Pel's gone down again. Let the games begin. Right, so what we've got? We've got two men have sequestered themselves in a chapel to discuss rumours so dire their feet to speak them aloud. While together they are resolute, they may prove easily tempted to tempt. He may prove easily tempted when separated. Right, so that's that one. We've got a jilted gentleman sought your company. He is quite a grudge to settle. However, firmly held grudges often lead to loose tongues. Was that one? We've got. There's a woman here who apparently used to work for Pierre in the past. As a fellow huntress of gossip and rumours, the two of you might have quite a lot to talk about. Oh, interesting. Or we've got over here, we've got author of intrigues. You've approached by a woman who's playing a most unusual game with the host. This strange game must be conducted in secret, also uniquely to your sort of talents. Interesting. So we've got this one or this one. This is that journalist woman we met before, so let's see her here again. While you're taking a moment to compose yourself in the vestibule, you notice someone approaching you. Judging by the way she's glancing around the pot, it looks like she's searching for someone. Excuse-moi, I'm playing a game of sorts. Someone has placed a small pewter statue of a dragon here, and I'm hoping to find it. If accent is found, you can't place it somewhere in the east. This is that, unless it's another generic character. I'm sure that's the woman we met who was doing the interviewing. Have you managed to say anything like it? Yeah. Problem is that you're searching for a statue in the middle of a party. How odd. An odd game, isn't it? It is an odd game. Well, it's not an ordinary game per se. I gave this statue to our host as a gift last night over dinner. I knew how fond of it they'd be, so they'd want to display it somewhere here. Of course, finding a statue is only first half the fun, she says, with a twinkle in her eye. The real fun is stealing it. Still, what on earth would possess you to do that? Well, I'm endeavouring to write my first novel. Is a tale of courtly intrigues and skullduggery. All I can do in response to this statement is stare back at her blankly. It takes every ounce of her will to just not betray how just familiar with such things. Obviously, I don't know enough to write a book that's convincing, so I invented this game, she admits with a shrug. While I'm visiting friends in France, I give them things and try to steal them back. After all, I'm the one who gave these gifts, and nobody's actually wrong by this. Fair enough. So, what do you say? How do you help you commit burglary? Please, madame, you had me at skullduggery. The hunt is on. Yeah, go on then. My first partner in crime, she laughs. Shall we find a statue? The two of you walk round together, appearing to focus on idle small talk. In reality, you're both searching the venue high-low for your quarry. Near the back of the venue, you happen to find your prize perched on a little podium. A servant is dusting it carefully. She eyes you suspiciously as you look at her, looking for some gap in her attention. You get the little peril. I must say, I was just surprised he liked the statue. I gave him so much. Your partner in crime whispers to you, if we want to steal that back, we need to distract this maid. Can I help you two, madam? The maid asks you politely but suspiciously. Well, in fact, you can. There's been a terrible spill in the vestibule. Can you clean it up? How about I help you? 10 levers just to take a quick walk. A spill in the vestibule, she asks. Oh, that must be those blockheaded lads bringing in extra wine. I told them not to bring anything through the main entrance. The maid hurries away from the both of you in the general direction of the vestibule, leaving the two of you to your quarry. That was amazing. You managed to get rid of her so naturally. I'll have to write all this down. Your erstwhile companion hisses to you excitedly while she secrets a prize statue amongst her waist pockets under the folds of her skirts. You manage to reply with an appropriate enigmatic smile. By the way, I heard some other guests that you are a woman who trades in gossip and rumours. Last night over dinner I heard something you might be interested in. Yeah, she proceeds to relate to you some interesting things about the bourgeoisie. You can't help but cock an eyebrow at some of the fine details of the gossip. If this might make quite the story for Pierre. You're going to shocking bourgeoisie gossip. Well, as soon as that game is over, hopefully I'll see you again before I return to St. Petersburg. We've already met. I think we'll be meeting. She leaves and we're left wondering what you'll be able to do at this party. That was more fun than that. If anything else, you're looking forward to finding out. Right, so we've got Father Sadotti. You came across a priest that often go hiding from all the guests. He seems bookish, but also quite sweet. We've got Angry, yep. Your presence is going to notice by those who consider themselves biased for some reason they doubt your honesty of your intentions here. Okay. You've got the the blokes hiding in the corner chatting. Lost pouch case. Let's have it. I did Sadotti on the first one, and I can't remember if I said in the last episode. Nothing really happened with it. I replayed the ending. It ended obviously because of game's end. I replayed the ending myself from an earlier save game. So I maybe replayed the last half an hour, and you got a completely different ending with the Sadotti. A totally different ending. So I'm intrigued. Part of me is intrigued as to whether I could have pushed the whole lovesick priest thing quicker than I did do. So I'm kind of intrigued about it, but there's other things I want to explore as well, but I've not come across them yet. Let's have a look. So see if something happens differently with this one. Exploring the potty, you find yourself in a quiet room that other guests seem to have forgotten about. Right as you're about to leave, you hear a rustling of papers. Slowly and carefully, you check behind the door. That's where you find a priest reading a book. Suddenly noticing, he leaps up, shouts, Figlio de Pitano. I apologise about my butchering of the Italian language, because I do know Sadotti is Italian. You know that wasn't French. You're fairly certain it wasn't polite. I'm sorry. So sorry, madam. You startled me. Who are you? Are you all right? Forgive me, father. That was my fault. My name is Yvette. Examine his book. The book is bound in faded leather, and while it's well read, it doesn't appear to be a Bible. You try to keep your facial expression neutral when you recognise the book, La Histoire de Extrêmement Voix de Joie de Urbanie. Again, I absolutely apologise. It's a romance, a tawdry kind, filled with rebellious and wanton women. Certainly a fun read, but not what you expected. Definitely not. You notice I was wondering my French is still rusty. This one was an easier read than the others. Well, at least you found something exciting. I love the horse chest near the end. He glances down the book and blushes. It's been so far. I love the escape from the nunnery. You get a little further with Sadotti. Please let to introduce myself. I'm Father Sadotti, he says with a polite nod of his head. The expression goes blank for a moment. He examines your face carefully. You're Yvette, aren't you? Oh, you're not. You certainly match your description. What am I doing? I beg your pardon, Madam Yvette. I swear I'm normally more social. It's just my recent assignment has been rather unbearable. Unbearable how so? Recently my superiors in Rome assigned me to interview one Monsieur Balland. We're trying to form a complete picture of the situation. In fact, tonight I tried to speak with him. He's so awful. I never met a man so determined to see the worst in everything. Oh, he can't be that bad, can he? Oh, you're saying that I can be rude as I like to him and it won't change anything? That's not what I meant, but I'd love to see it anyway, he says with a laugh. He says, if Margie didn't require me to forgive man's feelings, I'd rather try eager to write myself. Okay, let's see what our options are. You get a little favour, Ludovico. So it's Ludovico Sadotti. Please, enough of my martyrdom. What brings you here? My fiance is missing. I am seeking revenge on a prominent noble, and I like the wine here. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're as interesting as I said, Madame de Q says with a broad smile. I have to admit this plot is not particularly interesting until you arrived. Ew. You're getting more favour. However, he whispers, one must remember that in this city even the walls have ears. You hear footsteps of a servant going by. I wonder if your proclamation will reach the ears of your various enemies. It seems likely. Gain some peril. At the moment, a dour, unsatisfied looking man enters the room with a brow knit and a permanent furrow. There you are, Father said. I thought you got lost. This building is rather poorly designed, you see. Is this lady bothering you? I'm sorry, Monsieur Bolland, but he's assisting me in a matter of faith that can't wait. Please don't mind me future interview. Finally someone who knows the importance of manners, Monsieur Bolland replies with a thin smile. Please be a dear and retail silent for a moment, so I might be done with this quickly. Your stomach churns at the thought of doing anything this man tells you to do, but you step away from the conversation, let the two of them finish their interview. Father Dotty spends his entire time looking at like he's handling a viper by the tail. Thankfully, Monsieur Belland seems to be too interested himself to notice. Then finally they finish up and the interview departs. I'm sorry for that, madam. His words are completely uncalled for. Unfortunately, I'm not really in a position to start scolding important contributors, no matter how boorish they are. The two of you chat for a little bit longer. They seem to get along quite well. Father Sadat is remarkably well read, and you never expected to find yourself discussing Voltaire and Goethe with a Catholic priest. By the way, the next time we see each other, I would prefer if you called me Ludovico, if that's okay. You gain more favour. What a sweet man. Yeah. With the priest on your mind, you leave the now band room to explore other opportunities at the party. So, Bishop has called for the censorship of an opera critical of the church. The king has signalled his assent, but has taken weeks to make a pronouncement. If the king is taking the request seriously or ignoring it. A group of vintners are preparing a petition to reduce taxes on wine. Are they trying to make things affordable for the common man, or just increasing their profit margin? Okay. Alright then. You look up to the sound of Camille knocking the door from "Good morning, madame. House rent is due today as are my wages. 40 livres. Yep. Pay your rent. Yep. Meant to become the songs of the courtesy. I wonder what would happen if he didn't pay. I don't want to upset. I like Camille, but I wonder what happened if he didn't pay. Camille leaves to deliver the money. With that business concluded, your day may continue. Right, so we're now on to a military ball, and our credibility is getting danked. Military. Let's go with this outfit here. Go to the ball. As your carriage nears the party, consider taking one last moment. Says, nope, we don't need to. You push the notion, you step down, same message, yep. The credibility's gone down because we're tired. But then so it's fine. A servant checks your invitation, everything seems to be in order. So basically, all that does is that just skips the preamble at the start of the entry to the party. Power's gone down, cool. Well, it's gone up, but it's gone down, so we're going to go with the credibility elsewhere. So let's have a look what we've got. We've got guests has apparently been entrusted with the valuable knowledge, only to make the mistake of getting extremely drunk afterwards. A single chambermaid has been told to watch over him, but you've been the one, but you've never been one to let such a petty obstacle get in your way. Interesting. We've got someone that's absolutely bursting at the seams with desire to discuss something concerning the host, but only with those who know the host well. You might not, but when such a triviality stopped you before. And we've got Alex is chatting with his brother-in-arms, who appears to be matching Alex's drink. Despite distinctly smaller build, the results are predictable. Nevertheless, the conversation looks to be great fun. Oh, right. I'm intrigued by that, but I'm also intrigued with the relationship with Alex as to where we can take that. Let's go with that one. I'm interested in where we can take that relationship. From across the tent, you notice the Dragoon Alex from before. He appears to be talking with one of his friends. As you get closer, you notice that while Alex is behaving charmingly as ever, his friend is using one hand to steady himself on the table. The table has several empty wine bottles on it. Exactly everyone else in the cavalry treats us like we're expendable, but we're the ones doing all the fighting. Even in peacetime, we're the ones fighting brigands and highwaymen. We're the ones keeping people safe. Mon Dieu, I swear, the more your job actually helps people, the less anyone cares about it. He emphasises this point, the wild swing of his arm sending a small arc of wine through the air towards you. Thinking quickly, you lean out of the way and manage to narrowly dodge the offending refreshment. You loudly sigh with relief, catching Alexander's attention as he approaches you. I bet you are you alright? I'm sorry about that. It was an accident. I'm sorry about everything is ruined now. You'll have to make it up to me. Your friend is one good wine. He chuckles. Look, I was thinking the same thing, but I suppose we can just discuss that later. I'm sure we can. Looking up from his mysteriously empty glass, the dragoon approaches you two with a whistle. Oh, ho, what is this? A fine lady now, missed. Ah, madam, you seem to have a fine choice in acquaintances, he glass. He's firmly on Alex's shoulder. Maybe I first introduced the couple de masse of the Queen's World Dragoons. Don't worry, monsieur, we've already met. Have we? Oh, you have met many men, madame, he slurs, but you've never met a man like Alexander. What? No, it's fine. We actually know, Alex replies incredulously. He's cut off by his friend, whispering to him, loud enough for you to hear. Don't worry, my friend. I've never met a lovely woman like this slip from you. I would never let a lovely woman like this slip away from you. Follow my lead. What pillock. I'm telling you, there's no need to fall. My friend here is not just a simple bumpkin from the Americas. He's a man of culture, good humour, and a peerless duellist. He's the strongest man I've ever met, perhaps the strongest in all of France. And I defy anyone to tell me otherwise, he declares with such determination that several of the party attendees move further away from your group. Nobody's defying you at all. Alright, I know you're trying to help your friend. Trust me, I already think he's charming. A couple of them stares at you as he pretends to be won over by his boast and his idle prattle. His mind a few steps performing at the sluggish pace of the inebriated. He brights up, taking your placating deception. You say, Alex, I knew she would listen to reason. Ah, yes, she certainly did. My apologies, but it seems I have an appointment elsewhere, and I shall leave the two of you alone. Corblon Doreen leaves, slyly giving Alex a wink, as subtle as a lighthouse. After confirming that his friend is following, Alex gives you a relief smile. Thank you so much for taking it in good humour. Gain more favour. Finally, alone, the two of you chat together for a while. The group's coming nice, but something freeing about being alone with someone interesting. Pardon me if I was too forward, but I was wondering if you'd be interested in seeing me another time. I thought you'd never ask. Fantastic, I shall call upon you very soon, he says, scribbling something down on a slip of paper. You gain more favour with him. He hands the slip to you. Here's my address, or at least where I'm quartered in this city. Please feel free to write to me whenever you like. You can go on a rendezvous with Alex. He bows deeply. Now, if you excuse me, I must go instruct my wayward friends in manners. Au revoir, Madame Ducal. Interesting. Right, so let's have a... So we've got Alex is over there. There's that one. We've got okay, I'm not sure what spilled drinks. This is BBC work for Pierre. Let's pick this conversation. You approach a woman who's been eyeing other guests in particular for the way. In fact, it's the exact way you look at guests at these functions. She looks up at you. Vet I take it, she asks, sipping a glass of white wine. A fine assessment. Oh, I thought so. You seem to match all the rumours I've heard. My name is Anne de Croismer. We're both acquainted with Pierre Rundot, a fundless of my residency. I used to work for him as a rumour monger a long time before his boss passed away and bequeathed him the newspaper. However, I heard that he's even gone so far as to promote you to being his journalist. Either that was very difficult or he's getting desperate. How's Pierre doing, by the way? Does he still gamble like a madman? Oh no, he doesn't even drink anymore. I hear the Pope might have him canonised. I'm not sure. Is that what he does when he sobers up? Can you imagine? She laughs. I once saw the man wager a full week's wages on wiggle-ass racing. Normally you'd think she was joking, but this is Pierre we're talking about here. By the way, I'm not certain we're doing what you're doing here tonight, but I'm here to interview the Comte de Bournvilliers. I mean, he doesn't know it's an interview, but that's not important. Simply put, I'm here to find something interesting relating to the military. Can I trust you to stay out of my way? I won't get in the way. Oh, fantastic. She says, nice to know that there's still people with a sense of decency in our line of work. Going some credibility. She gives you an honest smile and steps away from the conversation to find her quarry. Or is it interviewee? Is there really a difference? I'd search the rest of the party, so is there anything more interesting for you to do? Okay, an older veteran who stands accused of murder has been discovered to be receiving care packages delivered by soldiers to his jail cell. Okay, continue. Another party. A military payday was yesterday, something that should be an absolutely normal event. In fact, anywhere else it would be. However, the financial situation of the crime is perilous right now, and no small amount of people are worried. You've heard cases all over the city where taverns are already refusing to issue soldiers lines of credit for fear of never getting them paid back. Much to everyone's surprise, that the crowd managed to reach deep into its purse to make sure their debts to the soldiers and sellers were properly settled. This may have exacerbated their financial issues elsewhere, but it's earned them loyalty for now, and it's also helped military appear stable and reliable. These are one of these global events that you get throughout the game that kind of give you an idea of what's going on within the wider city and how the power balance is across the different main players in the game. Okay, where are we? Sorry. And life, so in Paris, life goes on. Okay. Alright, so 9th of Avril, 9th Salon, so we've got, yeah, we can do that, because I've not got nothing then, and that gives me, yeah, we'll accept that. Cool, so that gives us a couple of days rest, then that, then a couple of days rest and that. Cool, that makes sense. Right, go to another church party. What interesting things can we find at this church party? Okay, let's have a look. What we're going to, it's church in it, so crown. Let's go with the church. That's, yeah, I've won that already, haven't I? But we'll go with that one. Straight to the party. Yep. Take gift of wine. Yep. Everybody's happy. Cost us money. Yeesh. That's go. Yeah, of course I've just paid rent, haven't I? Oh, okay. One list is we're gonna have to rest on one of those 2 days, just because it's not helping us. So Dottie are there. So let's have a look. Let's start from this end. So noticed again. Somebody wants to check out piety. A couple in this section of the party seem to actually boom with gossip. Again, you tend to find a lot of the events are quite similar in the kind of, they're quite similar in the what they are basically. This is two people booming with gossip. Can we find it out? So these are quite, so they're very similar. As with the scenes with desire to say something concerning the host. Again, we've seen that one before. So you get a lot of these conversations have got a similar vein across a lot of the different parties you go to. Nothing wrong with that, it's just worth remembering. And you can tell that they're all generic, because they're always, if you look, they're not like three triplets, they're just generic characters. So therefore these are just generic characters with a generic kind of mission conversation for you to have. Whereas when you get something like Dottie, you know that could affect Stolen Mucker. That is an actual dedicated picture. So we're going to go with this one. We're going to, Father Sadoti, the priest from Mum, has found himself an argument about desserts. Yes, really. Let's go and help Sadoti on his desserts. You spot the priest, Father Sadoti, sampling some of the desserts and talking with another guest. He looks like he'll have something interesting to discuss, but the sweets look quite enticing as well. With your mind made up, you decide to approach them. This cake is spectacular. Clustered inside the complements the fruits perfectly. I'm glad you like it. It's far Breton. My chef is from Brittany, and this is his speciality of his. He's a true French chef. to his very heart, which makes him one of the finest in the world, the guest replies with a great deal of pride. Ludovico slowly puts down his fork. It is a very interesting choice of words, he replies, and you swear that Italian accent is growing more pronounced. Well, I'd admit that this is fine for Bretagne, certainly a recipe from Brittany. I must remind you that both cakes and custard came to France because Catherine de' Medici brought her Italian chefs with her when she married Henry II all those years ago. I beg your pardon, this dish has only been created in France, thus it is a French recipe, she replies, enunciating every syllable very carefully. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Ludovico mumbles to himself while rubbing his temples. Ludovico sees you and perks up. Yvette, please come round, I need your help with something. It's a simple question. Whose chefs contribute more to cuisine, those of France or Italy? Ludovico, but I'm merely here to sample desserts. Please don't mind me. That's fine. The woman said proudly. They're fine desserts. After all, they're French. He glares points at Ludovico. Credibility's gone up. Ludovico's tinted shocked and I see where your priorities lie. Desserts, your priorities lie with dessert. Desserts, your priorities lie with desserts. Is that a crime? Loss of favour with Ludovico. He leaves, and yes, it appears that yes, it is a crime. Truly, the world is bereft of justice. You divert yourself chatting with the gourmand about French culinary heritage. Unfortunately, she's still drunk on her recent victory. Spends too much time lecturing you for it to be an agreeable conversational partner. Eventually, you manage to excuse yourself in order to investigate the rest of the party. See if there's anything else you can do. Okay. Well, that was let's see if we can rescue the Mon situation. Striding through the party, keep your eyes open for something interesting. You manage to spot Ludovico, that intriguing priest from before. He appears to be talking to someone else already, but you approach him regardless. Which is why I travel overland. If I am to return to Rome and all this is concluded, ships might be too much for me. All because you performed the man's last rites. I feel like a ship's captain I feel like the ship's captain overacted. You were just doing your duty. Then we passed. By the way, you ready to learn Turkish in the first place? Oh well, Ludovico mumbles as he sips his wine. Faith can accomplish many great things. Noticing Ludovico suddenly perks up. Oh my, it's good to see you again. Turn to the woman and introduces you. This is my friend, Madame Co. Have you two met before? For a mouthful to get wait, you're Yvette Decor, as in the infamous Madame Decor. In the flesh, Madame, trust me, everything you've heard about me is only the beginning. Though I must caution you, most of the stories are exaggerations. Oh really? She tisses behind her hand. I've heard some outrageous stories, it must be quite fascinating. Well yes, in my experience, Yvette has always been rather bold, Ludovico says with a smile. Gain someone's favour. As for myself, Ludovico continues, I've been extremely busy lately. My superiors at the parish I've been assigned to all come down with debilitating fever, so I'm leading mass for the last few days. It's been years and I still get nervous speaking in front of crowds, he sighs. Tis the woman, I'm so madame, can you excuse allowing me to speak to Yvette alone for a moment? Oh really, she replies, whatever for? We need to talk about a book we're both just finished. Madam, this is business a little too private for someone I've just met. Really, books, you say, she says with a cocktail bow. Well, I can't imagine why you'd require a private conversation. I'll respect your wishes. Oh well. She leaves, casting one more suspicious glance back at the two of you as she does so. Well, finally only, he says with a sigh of relief. As I said before, I'm leading mass at the church I've been assigned to in the south of Paris. It may not be the most glamorous district, but the building is beautiful and our choir is quite lovely. Benedictions is now available to visit in Paris map. I'm holding mass every day for the foreseeable future. I'd love you to attend. I'd love to see you as well. He blushes, trailing off. It was only a peck on the cheek, but you can tell it caught him completely off guard. His face has got a mixture of shock, fear and joy. Ooh. You can tell Ludovico wasn't the only one who noticed your indiscretions. The public indignation is part of the appeal, isn't it? Getting some power with that, you disappear into the crowd while you still have a air of mystery about you. You light a step on where you set to explore the party, wondering what future holds for you on a certain priest. Yes, so do I. So the bishop is called to the censorship of. Yeah, we've seen that one already. Okay. Right, let's have a look at where we are. In fact, yesterday there was a hot air balloon launch on the lawn of the Palace of Versailles. The public was absolutely fascinated by these new machines, though you remain unconvinced. These balloons invented by the Montgolfier brothers were richly decorated with the king's heraldry. Apparently it was quite a sight. In fact, the king himself decided at the last minute to ride along and ascend in the first balloon. Witnesses lovingly described the king as standing astride the heavens, like a demigod of antiquity. The Montgolfiers have been showered with praise for both their achievements towards the sciences and the prestige of the royal household. The crown is going some part of the bourgeoisie has moved closer to the crown. And so, in Paris, life goes on. So we've got, what is that one? That gives us, that's going to be a tough one, that one, isn't it? Yes, get accepted, because we've got a day between. Let's close that. So we've got, so we're going to be, let's have a look at the journal. So we've got plenty of gossip to sell, which we really should crack on with doing that. So I'm thinking, not now, but I'm thinking we're going to, on the next episode, we're going to go to La Trompe, sell our gossip. We've got benedictions. Ew. I think I've already got a plan. Alex's clue. Right, I'm thinking this is my plan. So we've got, let me just return to the estate and remind myself what we've got. So we've got 2 days. I'm thinking day 1 we go to benedictions. Day 2 we sell our gossip. We then go to our, we need to rest, don't I? Yeah, that's a blow. What do we do? I'm thinking that, let me back to estate. We need to sell that gossip. We need to make sure we've got money. And we need to rest today. So I'm thinking, say what, I'll do that. And we'll explore past. We'll rest for today because we do need to do that. I'll do that now. Just force my hand on that. Yep, standard levels of. All right, we've got enough. 8th of Avril, 1789. All right. News is spread of the king's meeting with an ambassador for Tipu Sahib, the Sultan of Mysore. The Sultan seeks an alliance against the British Empire, which encroaches upon his territory. As a symbol of goodwill, the king commissioned the finest mechanics in France to create a small mechanical tiger that, when wound up, would chew on a tiny doll of a British grenadier. It is presumed that both sides spent quite some time bonding over their mutual hatred of the English. The king's ambassador quitted themselves as well, managing to embolden the Sultan against the English without over-promising anything in terms of military aid. The cry has great little power, and so in Paris life goes on. Right, now, we've got rid of aggravated exhaustion. Next episode, we either do that or that. I'm tempted to push that a little bit, but we've got plenty to go on. Let's go at that. Anyway, that's all for next time. Thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Alright then, thank you, bye.